guys, my name is Alixandria Capparelli and today I am partnering with BCBG Generation to create a beautiful glowy summer look. So I've already washed my face, done my skincare. I'm just popping a little lip balm on before we get started. I'm going to start my makeup look today by starting with my skin. Usually if I'm doing more of an eye heavy look, I'll do my eyes first. But I'm going to go ahead and pop my favorite, the Jane Iredale CC cream, all over my skin. Let me move my hair out of the way. I like to apply it with a fluffy brush. So I'm using this brush and I just put like a pea-sized amount on the brush. And using a fluffy brush gives you lighter coverage. This is a summertime look, so you don't want to be too done. Bring it down your neck, obviously. And this color is a little bit warmer than my natural face color. I do not get my face in the sun at all, so my face is way lighter than my body. So I always choose a foundation or a CC cream that's a little bit darker and warmer. You'll see as the look comes together. It doesn't look as off. Okay, so just a light coverage. We're gonna build more coverage through the center of the face with concealer. But by just using a CC cream for more of a summer daytime look, just keeps it light and fresh. And like I said, you can do spot concealing, like I have a little breakout over here and through the center of the face for more coverage. Now that my base is on, I'm gonna move on to my eyebrows. I'm using the Tom Ford Brow Sculptor in Espresso. I like to just give them a little brush first, and I always start at the bottom of my eyebrow first. Kind of line it up. And then I fill in my arch. I like to have it flatter in my arch. I have super archy eyebrows, so I always fill in this little area right here. And then you can see it's a straight pencil. So now I'm going to take it on the flat side and I'm going to kind of stamp it down at the base and gently flick it upwards. You want the darkest part of your eyebrow to be the bottom and you want it to gently diffuse upwards. So then you could take the brush side and kind of soften it. You always want to brush it out to make it look nice and soft. Same thing over here. Perfect. Since we're not doing an eye heavy look, I'm gonna pop my concealer on because I like to let it set a few minutes before I blend it out. So I'm just doing the little highlighting triangle under my eyes, tiny bit on the top of my nose, a little bit on my forehead. I like to do a little V on my chin. I have a deeper smile lines, so I use my concealer to brighten, to pop out those areas. And then I have a little breakout stitch happening. So I'm just kind of spot treating. While this is setting, I'm going to move on to my eyes. This is one of my favorite cream shadows. It's called Abyssian. Yeah, Abyssian. It's just a nice, warm, neutral brown. And I'm kind of just working it, the base of my lash line, all the way up diffused to my brow bone, but not getting my brow bone. I have a lot of veining on my eyelids, so this helps kind of neutralize this and give a little bit of eye contour without doing too much. For this look, I'm using the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes, and I'm going to use the color called Peach Tea. It's a really pretty warm taupey brown, and I'm using the same brush that I used to just apply that cream shadow. And I'm just gently working it through the crease, setting that cream shadow. Now that I've started on my eyes, I'm going to take a wet beauty blender. I'm literally squeezing out the water with a tissue. And I'm just going to work in my concealer. When you let it set like that, it gets tacky and you won't get as much creasing, especially under your eyes, and you can also get better coverage. Since I did my eyes first, I always take the corner of my beauty blender and kind of cut those corners. You always want your eyes lifting up. You never want them like pointing down. It's going to make them look saggy and weird. Just blending away. And notice when I'm using my beauty blender, I'm not wiping. You always want to pat. And that's why it's really good to use a wet beauty blender. So many of my clients don't even realize that they have to wet it. But that's what helps, I don't want to say break down the concealer, but it helps make it look more like skin. It's like patting it into your skin, but also softening it. So we're all blended. You always want to take the tip too. You want to get those little corners of your eye. You don't want a dark hollow right here. You kind of want to pop it out. Okay, so we're all blended with the concealer. So just like I let that concealer sit for a minute, I'm going to go in with my brow gel. I'm going to brush the hairs up almost to the point where they look crazy, because I'm going to let this brow gel sit for a minute, do one more coat, and put them into place. Okay, so I know they look a little psycho right now, but it's important to put them up because you're back combing the eyebrow hairs with the product instead of just shellacking them down. Okay, so we'll come back to the brows, but while we wait, I'm going to do my cream bronzer. This is an all cream look. Just think glowy, summertime, like natural. And I'm using the Westman Atelier cream bronzer in the color Biscuit in a synthetic brush. Super important to use synthetic bristle brushes when you're using cream products. If you're using real hair, natural hair brushes trap bacteria. And it also gets inside the hair and expands the hair. So you can never really get them clean. And so I'm going in the hollows of the cheeks. I'm going all around the forehead to kind of tie it all in. Plus I have a giant forehead. So anything that you want to appear smaller, you want to darken. So by me darkening the top of my forehead, it's creating an illusion of it being smaller. Also, some people, if you have longer chins, you can darken the tip of your chin to make it appear shorter. Same thing with your nose. I don't really have a long nose, but if I did, I would darken the tip of it to kind of snub it and make it look shorter. So I'm just doing my jawline to kind of bring everything together. You want everything to tie in. Sides of the nose, just to create an illusion of a little bit skinnier nose. And now I'm gonna go in with a cream highlighter. This is Peau de Peche, also by Westman Atelier. And I like to do my cream highlighter before my blush, because I feel like when I put blush on top of it, it helps make it look more cohesive and natural. So obviously tops of cheekbones, tops of nose. I like to do a little on my Cupid's bow. Maybe a little above the brow bone. Anything that you want to shine is what you want to highlight. You can even do a little bit on your collarbones if you're feeling really into it. So before I do my blush, I'm going to go back in with that brow gel, and now I'm kind of putting them over and into place. Perfect. Now I'm going to do a little cream blush. This is the Jillian Dempsey. This is actually the lid tint, so it's supposed to be for your eyes, but you can use them anywhere. Lips, eyes, cheeks, whatever. And this is the color Lilac. It's a really pretty baby pink kind of color. And again, I'm using a synthetic bristle brush. And I like to pop it right on the apple of my cheek. Just gives a nice glow. And there's a nice sheen to these as well. So it helps keep you look nice and dewy. So now I'm going to go back to my Peachy Mattes palette, and I'm going to use the same color called Peach Tea with a pointed brush, and I'm just going to define the bottom of my eye. Still super natural, but just creating some definition. Since I'm not going to be putting lashes on this look, since this is like a summer soft glam look, I am still going to create some definition using that light brown. You can even go darker. Just make sure your corners, you always want to connect everything. You don't want to have, you know, the top of your eye going up and then it stops right here. Like, you want everything to be cohesive. So always blend. Blending is the key to everything. Okay, so now that I have this brush out, take a tissue or something, and you just kind of want to wipe it off. Wipe off that excess shadow, and take a cream shadow of your liking. And I'm using the cream highlighter that I just used on my cheeks. I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight these inner corners just to create that pop. Kind of gives that like lit from within look. You can also do a little bit on your brow bone for a little extra. And since this is a small brush, I'm going to go in and reinforce this Cupid's bow. So we're almost there. I'm going to take another tissue. I have a little lip balm on my lips, so I'm just going to wipe it off before I do my lips. I always put lip balm on in the beginning of my makeup application so it has time to kind of sit in and make sure my lips are nice and hydrated. I'm going to use the Plumberry lip liner by Laura Mercier. This is one of my personal favorites. It's a nice like neutral pink. So just lining your lips. If I'm not doing like a red lip look or some bold lip look, I choose my lip liners based off the natural undertone of my lip color. I feel like that's a really good way, you know, when you go to Sephora or Nordstrom and you're buying lip liners, it's super overwhelming because there's a million choices, but always go with the same undertone of your natural lip color. And obviously I'm overlining a little bit. And I always take my lip liner on the side after and kind of fill it in and then rub my lips together. By filling in your whole lip with lip liner, it is almost like a primer for your lipstick. It makes it last longer. On top of the lip liner, I'm going to use this really pretty Kosas lipstick called Undone. I love this lipstick color. Okay, so since I'm not doing lashes, I am going to use a lash curler. So you want to go in and get your lash, and you want to gently, obviously you don't want to be pinching yourself, but if you are using a lash curler, you want to be pumping it. I hold for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Same thing. Perfect. So now go in with your favorite mascara. I'm using the Better Than Sex, also by Too Faced. Kind of same thing as the brow gel. You can do one coat, you want to let it set, and then you can go back in. I usually do about 3 coats if I'm doing more of like a glam-ish kind of look. So obviously this is a very dewy makeup look. It's not for everybody, especially people who have naturally oily skin. You can set it with powder. I personally like to be more on the dewy side. If you're in between and you want to still shine and feel dewy, you can always set what we call the hot spots of the face. So see, I have a little shininess on my chin, right here, center of the forehead. So sides of the nose, chin and forehead, and it'll keep you matte through the center of the face, but keep this nice glow on your cheeks. Just to show you guys for the fun of it, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is one of my favorites, and typically I wouldn't use any powder on this look, but just to show you guys who do want to set it, use your beauty blender. It's still damp. You want to put a little bit of the translucent setting powder in your cap, tap it, and you want to press the powder into the skin. See that shininess on my chin is completely gone? And you can do the same thing on the sides of the face. This is kind of like a form of baking, but it's not like a full-blown look. I feel like that's too much for me. And you could just press it in anywhere where you don't want texture. See, I still have that nice shine on my cheeks and my brow bone, but I'm matte through the center of my face. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed watching me create this look. Send me a message if you have any questions, and we will be posting the product breakdown in the caption.